I remember in 1975, there was a knock on my door, and a young guy walked in, introduced himself as Jerry Ray, and said he was starting up an organization called the Illinois Environmental Council. I wasn't quite sure if that was going to amount to anything, but it was good to meet him, and he began showing up at hearings, and that was my first contact with Illinois Environmental Council. At the beginning, the environmental movement in Illinois consisted of a group of professors and students at the University of Illinois. After IEC was formed, and particularly with the leadership of people like Virginia Scott and Jen Walling, IEC became a statewide organization and had an impact throughout the state of Illinois.
We were very fortunate that on the staff was Virginia Scott. She truly had a gift to really encourage young environmentalists to get their feet wet in Springfield and be able to go through the maze that is the state capitol and find those offices to meet with legislators and their staffs.
At the beginning, the IEC looked a lot different. It was propelled by energy from the first Earth Day in 1970. There were 2 full-time staff positions, about 20 affiliated groups, 1 electric typewriter, and a mimeograph machine. But the mission was the same as it is now, to be the eyes, ears, and voice of the environmental community in Springfield, and to inform, to educate, to advocate for a healthful environment throughout Illinois. As IEC was first taking shape, 1974, 75, the question arose of whether or not groups could work together in coalition, and did they really want to? And fortunately, they were wise enough to recognize that there's power in numbers and that sharing resources would give them strength. And so today we have 100 or so affiliates, and it's all true. They have grown strong because they have joined together in this effort.
In the late 60s, I heard about the Middle Fork Reservoir proposal and worked together with Bob Bales and Jim Smith to form a statewide committee. The only thing we didn't know how to do is to deal with legislators. But we'd get one in a canoe, and it'd take 15 minutes, and they'd say, God, I never knew there was any place like this in Illinois. So we knew that we could appeal to them, but we needed the ticket, and that was the stack of petitions from their district. And that's where IEC came in. I think it was 1975. You had rented space in a downtown Springfield, a few blocks from the Capitol. We could sleep on the floor and go walk around legislator offices every day.
The process of government is often meant to be closed to the public because it's much easier to get things done when there aren't as many voices contributing. One of the things that the Illinois Environmental Council does is opens and keeps open doors for environmental organizations, for individual activists, for people who are passionate and care about the environment and democracy throughout the state to be able to connect with their lawmakers and share why the environmental issue they care about is important to them.
It's a giant collaborative effort where the work is shared, the intelligence is shared, the current staffing level is huge and multifaceted and covering lots of different levels of government. But at times in the past, we've had 1, 2, no employees. So there's been a lot of variation over time with IEC, but it has persevered largely through the combined efforts of the network, the people on the board, the people who need IEC to get the work done.
My favorite thing about IEC's approach is how collaborative our efforts are. So we get to bring all the coolest people from the Shedd Aquarium, Lincoln Park Zoo, our friends in the agriculture spaces, American Farmland Trust, the Stewardship Alliance, places like this beautiful farm that we're at get to have a seat at the table when we're crafting policy decisions to make sure that our solutions work for everyone. Being able to represent them in Springfield and be their voice is something I'm super proud of, and one of the reasons I think IEC will continue for another 50 years.
One of the reasons that I really appreciate being part of the IEC team is the focus on environmental justice. One of the examples that often comes to mind is the work that we did for CEJA. When a community member came to me, or a group of community members came to me and said, hey, this is critically important, I took great pride in taking that forward to the coalition and then bringing that forward during the negotiations. And to me, that's what IEC is about. It's about listening, it's about moving forward good ideas, it's about collaboration, and it's about ultimately meeting our climate goals, but doing it in a way that is equitable and accessible to everyone.
One of the things I learned from IEC was that it takes as much strategic strength and as much energy, as much commitment to stop bad bills as it does to pass good ones. And in the days when I first arrived, there were many efforts to undercut the Environmental Protection Act, to undercut the authority of the EPA and of the Illinois Pollution Control Board, which today I chair. So I was working hard to make sure the bad things didn't happen. Later on, we had more opportunity, I think, to do a lot of good things.
This year, we passed a PFAS ban on products that touch our bodies and skins, and really addressing the fact that there is these toxins in our systems that are creating a lot of harms, and really addressing that by doing the education with legislators to help them identify, like, what are these toxins and how do we get them out of our body. And we're continuing to grow in the work that we do.
Another victory, too, is the Lead Service Line Replacement and Notification Act. We were one of the first states to actually mandate replacement of lead service lines by municipalities and water utilities. We're talking about the state with the most lead service lines in the entire nation, making sure that we're removing lead from drinking water, which is huge. The work is so far from done. While we've had so many victories, right, there are so many things that we still need to build upon, and then alternatively, there are so many things that we need to fight back. The other side is not stopping, neither should we.
I always describe the IEC as an umbrella. You know, when it rains, we take out our umbrella. Well, let me tell you right now, it is a monsoon coming out of Washington. The EPA is under attack. Programs are being cut. We need you to be under the umbrella of the IEC to help.
Every generation believes that they're going to be able to do better than their parents and their grandparents. I have faith in young people, and in this situation, I think that young people are going to continue this battle to fight climate change. I also think they're going to continue the battle to protect our environment. Illinois Environmental Council is going to be right there with them, ensuring that we have a cleaner, safer, and healthier environment. Cheers to 50 years, IEC.
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 And here's to many more.
And here's to many more.
And here's to many more.
Cheers to 50 years, IEC, and here's to many more.